Rod's sister Freya used to do Brigitte's hair and often spoke of her brother. Through her, the two got chatting on Facebook, met up where he was playing rugby in England, and so it began.
I've always been keen to get married, and Brigitte made it pretty clear in the beginning that she was not interested at all. She wanted to focus on her work, etc. So when I tested the waters, I literally got hit out the park. First time, it was like, don't even dare. And the second time was about a year later, and exactly the same thing. So then I literally thought, well, that's me. We're just going to be boyfriend, girlfriend for the rest of our lives.
So the one day, I called Rod up and I said to him, I've got something really serious that I've got to discuss with you. And I made it sound like I wanted to break up with him. And I took him out to a restaurant and I said, so you know we've been together for X amount of years and I've really got to speak to you about this, like as if it was something that was bothering me.
You always question my commitment.
Yeah, I said that. And then I basically planned the whole thing. So I actually had a real ring to propose with. And I proposed to him and he started crying like a baby. He did. Yeah.
My heart rate is about 188 because I thought she brought me into this place to break up with me in front of everyone so I wouldn't make a scene. So I was just relieved.
We had Sammy in 2012. I must say that's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to both of us. And
such a good boy.
Yeah, we just very happy family.
What made their choice of Winelands venue so exceptional is a structure as North African in its look as it is South African by design.
What was the inspiration for the chapel?
So Coetzee Steyn was the architect of the chapel. He was inspired by nature. He had a look at the wonderful mountains that's surrounding us. He also wanted to sort of reflect the history of the farm, and he had a look at the manor house. The Cape Dutch house is famous for the gables that they had. And he was also given the Psalm verse 36 verse 7 that states, "How precious is your love, O God. All of creation find protection under the shadow of your wings." So he took the wings, nature and the history of the farm, and he came up with this wonderful idea of this chapel for Bosches.
I know Brigitte loves vintage, and this certainly has a modern feel. How did you marry the two worlds?
She had the same feeling as I did. She said, just go with whatever it talks to you with. And which I've done. We've made different designs on different tables, so it's not like a runway of the same look and feel. So you can see we've gone aloe, which bringing in her little vintage, we sprayed it gold. Some of the horn, the ostrich egg, and I've gone very natural.
Steady as a rock in managing the careers of international rugby players, Rod's professional composure didn't count here.
Rod, you are just minutes away from marrying the woman of your dreams. How are you feeling?
I'm very nervous, especially for the speech. I think I've gone through it about 20 times, and yeah, see how we go.
Bob, are you looking forward to Rod and Brigitte finally tying the knot?
Yeah, we're just quite relieved he's actually going through it and doing it, eh? And he's a lucky man to get such a beautiful woman. B kind of looks after Rod, if I can say that, keeps him under control. And Rod brings the fun side out of everyone. So yeah, they're a very good couple together.
If designer Kobus Dippenaar is known as a bride's best friend, it's because of creations like this.
This dress, the hair, the makeup, you are absolutely flawless. This is one of the most beautiful dresses I've ever seen.
Thank you very much.
Did you come to Kobus with a specific idea in mind?
You know, Kobus and I have known each other for such a long time, and he's dressed me for numerous occasions. And he also knows my style. I didn't have to brief him in. I never actually told him I like this or I wanted that or showed him a picture or anything like that. He literally just said, don't worry about it. Come for your first fitting at this time on this day, and the rest is history.
So since you had free reign, how did you custom design this dress?
Bosches has got this amazing chapel with these curves. and I would just love to incorporate kind of those curves into the dress. And then I thought about this overskirt made from crinoline, and this creates these absolutely architectural drapes in the dress because it's a hard fabric. And I thought that is something that's not been done because everybody's doing ethereal these days. So I wanted to do something ethereal, but with that kind of see-through magical elements in it.
With Rod's father, Chris, being in poor health, the bride asked him to join her dad walking her down the aisle. Cindy Nell led them in.
Cindy, how long have you known Brigitte for?
Brigitte and I met about 14 years ago in Johannesburg, and I think we just both had the same wicked sense of humor, so we clicked immediately. And we've been through everything from modeling to Survivor, events, television, getting married now, her with me, and having children, and here we are.
We all know that you are a married woman. Do you have any advice for your friend?
Try to give each other space and always speak kindly to one another, and always remember to respect one another.
Danae, what are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, seeing two friends that I've grown to love very, very, very much commit their lives to each other. I think it's really special that Sammy, their son, is with them. He's such an awesome little boy, and yeah, they're just such an amazing family, and I just can't wait to see it all come together.
So Tim, Rod obviously being your agent has been there for you throughout your career. Now you're here to support him on his special day.
Of course, yeah, it's been a pleasure to be at Rod's wedding. Obviously a very special day for him, and he's been there for me, as you've said, for the past couple of years. We've shared quite a personal relationship, so it's nice to experience this personal day with him.
Played in by Art Matthews, the newlyweds emerged to cheers from a chorus of rugby players and models.
You and Brigitte are both models. Is that how you know each other through the industry?
Yeah, well, Brigitte moved down to Cape Town, and obviously being in the same industry and both being sportswomen, we've always had this kind of common denominator. So we've always had a bit of fun together. Yeah, I love Brigitte and I love Rod, and it's amazing to be here.
The atmosphere up here at the reception is amazing. This venue is so perfectly suited for this type of wedding. It's elegantly formal, so you're outside, but you're casual as well. They've got beautiful couches, and the fairy lights just make it. And I think it's going to be an amazing evening of celebrations.
Keegan, Rod is your friend, your manager. What was your highlight?
Without a doubt, probably there was no cutting of the cake. There was a smashing of the pavlova. So to see that happening was quite magnificent in its own right. So I think that probably sums up what Brigitte and Rod's relationship is about and who they are. They're not your usual couple, very different in their personalities, but ultimately they come together and they have a common purpose and a common goal, and to see that smashing of the pavlova was something quite different.
To Rod and Brigitte, I wish you guys continued happiness that I've seen since the moment you guys met each other, and long may you have that.
Gene and Quibus, it feels like it was just yesterday. I was at your wedding, and you have a little baby on the way.
Yes, we do. We're so excited. So
yeah, we're 15 weeks in, so hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll see the gender.
Today has been another love story. How would you describe tonight's events?
I think it's very true to who they are. I told Rod just now it's like a big braai at Rod's house. So yeah, it's amazing, it's beautiful, and Brigitte looks amazing.
They've been best friends from the day they met, an ideal match, loving parents, and now husband and wife.
Brigitte and Rod, speaking to the guests, they've had an amazing time today. What have been some of the most special moments that you are going to cherish for the rest of your life?
For me, personally, I think, well, in the chapel, just seeing Brigitte walk down the aisle, it was, all my mates were mocking me. They said, yeah, I'm going to cry. I said it won't happen. And it broke a little bit. She looked absolutely amazing. And yeah, just to actually tie the knot and to know that Brigitte is my wife is absolutely amazing.
The special part for me was when we actually came to the reception and everybody actually spoke from their hearts, and just the atmosphere, it was amazing.
Between the bride's marketing work, her health and fitness blog, Rod's rugby agency, and their family and friends, they're living the best of the good life.